And we're back, episode 25 of the AI Code Central podcast. That's a working title. We are currently going through a rebrand. We have Mallory Lohr, the community and branding expert, formerly Bolt.new and Discord,
Let's go.
and myself, Charlie. I'm the SEO guy. Connor is he's out today. He's the paid ads expert. And yeah, it's just Mallory and I rolling on this episode. And we've got a special guest, Ryan Carson. He is with Build Crew. He's leading the charge there. He's got a community of developers shipping with agents. So that is very
Very cool.
exciting. And like I don't know anything about community. That's just not
That's
just
okay. That's why you
goes
have me.
yeah,
That's
it
why
just
you
goes
have
up
me on the
over my head.
pod.
So yeah, Mallory's the expert in that. So we're pretty stoked to chat with Ryan.
I'm very, very excited. He's got such an interesting background. I think that there's a lot, that our listeners, but also just even us, like we can learn so much from him. So looking forward to that. And also, since we're like doing the podcast intro, at some point, maybe I'll sing the intro out. That'll be great.
Oh, that's right. You're a classically trained vocalist, right? Like a opera singer?
Yes, well, I like to classically trained, but love to sing other kinds of music too. But I do this thing, fun fact, I do this thing where like I sometimes come into meetings and kind of just like break the ice. I'll just start singing people's names like as just for fun. So I'm like, maybe I should bring that energy in and find a way to incorporate that on the podcast
What's
somehow.
what's the best
Um,
reaction you've ever gotten?
well, people are just like, wow, like people are just like, I didn't know you could sing, which I
Do you
don't
like
sing it
belt it? Do you
seriously.
like
Yeah, I'm like, Charlie, like just like,
whoa,
and then like
okay.
people are like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm having a good day if I sing your name. So, um, or just it's not super serious. Like I just like to have fun with people's names. But they're just like, good morning. Hey, I'm like, what's up? Are you ready to go or what? Because if you weren't, now you are. Now you are.
Well, yeah, now you are, huh? Okay.
Anyways, we
That's
won't have too much singing for today's podcast, okay,
that's
guys? But
badass.
just
Yeah.
just an idea.
So when we get together, we'll definitely have to do some karaoke.
Yes, absolutely.
I might have to have a
Absolutely.
few drinks first, but um,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, what has been going on in your world past week or so?
What has been going on in my world? Well, on work side of things, I did just get locked down our first client for the marketing agency that I'm slowly working and building up. So that's really
Yeah. All
exciting.
right. Order in. Boop, boop.
Yep, let's go. Let's go. Um, on top of that, I'm in the process of launching my Substack this week to do some really exciting long form content on community. And I'm going to be launching that soon. So for those of you who are like want to learn about all things community, I'll
That's
be
it.
of course sharing that here on the pod, but I'll have more of that information on Substack too. Outside of that, just kind of getting back into working out. I did some cycling this past weekend.
Ooh.
Not like out like cycling out in the real world, more like a class, but
Mm.
that was really great. I had brunch club with my old Discord coworkers, so I got to catch up with them. We do this thing where every month I have a standing brunch club calendar invite on our calendars. And it's no pressure, right? Like if you can join, you can and you're free, come join. If you can't because you're busy that month, come next month. And I just wanted to find a way to get together with a group of people that I love on a regular basis, but make it not so high pressure. And so I have this thing called Brunch Club, also doing another club called Craft Club soon. So I guess I'm addicted to starting little clubs with friends, but so I did that this weekend
Is
and it was
that at the same brunch spot, or do you guys
no, we switch it
build?
up. We
Okay, so
switch
you,
it
you
up.
change every month.
Yep. We change it up every month. We try to rate the places we go to. We go to different spots in San Francisco, in the Bay Area. It doesn't always have to be in the city.
Hmm.
And it's been a thing we've been doing for almost 2 years now, and I'm really
Oh
proud.
wow.
Yeah, we started it at the end of 20 or at the beginning of 2024. I was like, we need to be not catching up every 4 months. And like, I know that maybe a once a month thing's a lot for people, but if it's like a no pressure thing, like can't join this month, come next month sort of thing, I think people would be open to it, and we're still doing it. So
It's awesome.
yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
maybe a inspo for some of you out there that are thinking about, how do I get together with my friends more often? And look, if that's like too expensive for you, like could just do something at your house,
You said
no, it does.
crafting? Like,
Yeah. I'm starting a little craft club with a few ladies, and we are going to start off with polymer clay this week. There's like I'm addicted to craft talk. Like there's this whole side of TikTok that shows you really easy crafts that you can do. I already like to paint, I like to color. Um,
do you
and I love
knit?
to sing. No, I don't knit, actually. I don't. Maybe that's something I'll add. I'm one of those people that likes to start a lot of hobbies and like, will I like be an expert or finish it or see it through? No. But I like to
Okay.
start a lot of things. And so, yeah, we're gonna do this like a dry clay situation where we can make little magnets that are like shaped as cute foods and put them on the fridge.
That's
But
cool.
so yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, and it's been pretty chill. The weather here in San Francisco is gorgeous this past weekend. So we were at going to the beach. My husband went surfing. We went hiking with the
Ooh.
dogs. So honestly, I can't complain. It's been good. How about
So
you?
this real quick, this first deal that came in, did you
Oh,
celebrate? So at my old sales job, we do it with my agency too now. We have a giant gong and we just smoke the thing and it just ding, makes this giant noise. So it's like, okay, order came in for John Doe. Here's the company, and then like everybody like celebrates and like, okay, how'd you book it? Like just cold email, a cold call, or how did you celebrate with the
that's a
first deal?
great question. I'm like, I don't think I did. Did I? I don't know. I don't think I celebrated any. I mean, I was really excited. I journaled about it. I think my husband and I made a really
Nice.
good dinner.
Hell yeah.
Me and the designer that's going to be working on this project, we were celebrating on Discord, but like nothing major. I didn't have a gong. But I should. I should have because I'm musical. So I'm like, I feel like I
Oh
need to have
yeah. Or like
something where I'm like,
a desk pop too, or like something.
yes. But it's just me here. It's just
Yeah, okay, yeah,
me.
yeah. I get that. My old
Yeah.
sales manager would say, "All right, this came in. You want to celebrate?" I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Go get another fucking deal."
Oh my
I was like,
God.
"All right, like that's
No,
cool,
but
dude."
like I think I love that you asked me this question because I think working in a fast-paced AI tech space allows us to always be on to the next thing. And this is actually why I love doing events so much because it's like the type of work where you get to see the final outcome of your work, et cetera, et cetera. But and then even like when I worked at Discord too, and we would fail, like we learned over time that we need to celebrate even those, right? Because you learn from those failures and it leads you
Yeah,
to a place of more clarity. And so
yeah.
even if it's like, right, not a win, like how can you make it a win? So I love that you've asked that question or like how you celebrate, right? Because I think that's really important.
It's
Because it's easy
hard.
to be
Like,
like, I don't have this thing and I don't have money or, or I don't
yeah,
have fundraising, I don't have customers, I don't have but it's really easy to do that, I think, as a founder and as a builder. So thank you for asking me that question.
yeah. Of course, it's hard. It's really hard. The agency space is not easy, and closing, yeah,
Yeah.
getting a cool client. That's good stuff. Cool stuff. Congrats.
Thank you.
Um, okay, past week.
Yeah.
What have I gotten into? So we finished a show. I'm trying to do like maybe one show like every 6 weeks or something like a Netflix. We finished The Haunted House on the Hill, whatever that's called. Cool show. I
Yes.
liked it. It's not Halloween anymore, of course. And I've never seen this. My girlfriend has seen like half of it. We started Peaky Blinders. I've never seen it. I've heard great things about it. So we started that. We went to one of my favorite restaurants, which is it's a steakhouse. So I'm a fillet guy. So
All right.
I like dry wine too.
Okay.
I like dry wine, and like I have 2 glasses of wine and I already get sleepy. So she's like, "Oh, like what do you think of the first episode?" So we went to the restaurant, then
Oh,
came
and then
back
came
home,
back. Yeah.
and then I just passed out on the couch. She's like, "Yeah, what do you think of it?" I was like, "Oh, it didn't really make sense. It's I think I missed like
Oh my
45 minutes,
God. No
but
wonder it didn't
I
make sense. You know what's okay? So when I'm watching a movie with my husband, I'm like, and he starts falling asleep. and I can see it. Like his eyes are closed. He's like, I'm not falling asleep. I'm like, I literally can see it. You can't lie to me. And they're like, I'm not asleep with his eyes completely closed. And it's the most, I don't know, it's a pet peeve of mine. And I hope you don't do that either,
Oh, that's
Charlie,
funny.
is what I'm saying.
No. Okay, so I have insomnia. So like if I'm falling asleep, I'll pass out like so fast. But no, I'll have to do that to my girlfriend. I'm not asleep and just keep my eyes closed.
Yeah. She'll be like, I see that you're asleep.
Yeah, she got kind of annoyed.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, that's typical.
yeah.
Typical.
Okay, so we started that. Yeah, back on the ice. Let's see. I've got like a little list here. Oh yeah. Okay, so the past like couple weeks has been me just bitching about this Google Ads
Yeah,
API.
I know. I know. I
This
was gonna ask you. I'm like, he's gonna give an update about it. And if he doesn't, I'm gonna ask him about it.
Okay, so as we build out our app, Campaign Pilots, which pulls together campaign data, GA4, Search Console, ads, that Google Ads is no freaking joke. And I found we were talking about this before I hit record of like, there's like a bunch of documentation. It's like a thing that it's really hard to work with. It doesn't pull data. Like part of the app fetches the data via connectors like very efficiently, and then another part of the app doesn't. It doesn't fetch the data at all. So in my brain, I'm like, why the hell doesn't this work? So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna drill into that after we get off this call. And oh yeah, we're heading to Raleigh this week, which would be pretty cool. So it's hopefully the government shutdown doesn't, yeah, the flights don't get
Yeah.
canceled.
I think that they're reopening now, but that I mean that doesn't mean everything is going to, operate at 100% overnight. I'm sure it'll take some time to ramp up. What are you going to be doing in Raleigh?
So we're seriously considering moving there to a suburb of Raleigh, and I've heard
Exciting.
nothing but good things. I've never been there, so that's the reason why
Yeah.
we're going there.
Yeah.
We'll be there from Thursday to I think Monday or
Very cool.
Sunday. I can't remember. I don't know. I'm not a details person. Like,
Okay, well, you can report back. Okay, so are you more like type B? Is that what I'm sensing? Because I've been having this topic with friends lately around like the differences between the type A and the type B friend. Like, I'm very type A. I'm very like everything's on my schedule. I like, know things ahead of time. I'm very organized. And then I have a lot of type B friends, and that's okay. I love them. I don't want to hang out with a bunch of type A people because that's going to make me neurotic. That just like, they just show up places. They're like, I'm here. I don't know what's going on. Like, they're just not organized. I got to corral them. So, are
sure.
you the more type B or type A? I think there's a type C too, but I actually don't know what that means. So, what would you consider yourself? Type B?
Before I answer this, what would you categorize me as?
Well, it's not, I mean, I feel like you could be like there's a world where you could be a little bit of both. Like I've just because I've gotten to know you over the last few weeks, I feel like when you get focused on something, you like and it needs to be detail oriented, you're gonna like go in and like go in so hard that like you're like I have to isolate myself from the world with this whole Google is API thing. And then like doing the podcast with you, you're super organized with notes and such and what have you, so that's good. But then I hear these things. So I'm like, hmm. I think you're probably more type B, but you have type A tendencies.
I've learned to be type A. I, you have to be hyper organized and have a plan to an extent. As an entrepreneur, as a founder. So I started my first company. I didn't really know what I was doing. That was pre-COVID. And then as time went on, I think I inherited, I guess you could say, type A tendencies. But for example, like when I went to Thailand, I didn't know, like I knew we were flying, we went from Denver to Vancouver, but I didn't I didn't know from Vancouver like where I think we were
Of
somewhere in
course.
Thailand. Like I don't know. I didn't put together like our travel person, like she put it together. It's like, oh, like that's
That's
why I kind of like
hilarious.
airports. Like airports are very liberating. Um,
That's so fun. That's so fun.
so
Wait, what do you mean? What's liberating about airports? I've
I don't
never
know.
heard someone say that in my life,
I
and
don't
now I
know.
need
It's
to
just
know.
airport's very relaxing to me. And by the way, for context, we talked before we hit record
Yes,
that
we
like
did.
I can go ham at an airport. I can crank out hundreds of emails at an airport. I know it's just like efficiency. I know it's like, okay, it's here, do this. All right, stand in this line, there, there. Okay, cool. I got my food. I'm in a lounge, and I just go nuts. I don't know what it's just
So
very
funny.
relaxing, and knowing you like you're about to get on a plane, and
Okay.
it's just kind of liberating. So,
I,
type
I
A,
I I love that though. I love that you were like, I'm, at the airport and I don't know where this connecting flight goes to, but like it's gonna lead me to where I need to
she
be. I trust. I
she
trust
was
in the
so pissed.
process and it doesn't fucking matter.
She was so pissed. Oh, she was like, "Do you even know where?" I was like, "Not really. I don't know." We'll figure it out. Like,
Oh,
we'll figure
that's
it
so
out. I
funny. That's
think
so
founders like kind of get that.
I
Like,
mean, look,
look, we'll
okay.
take some steps forward, but
Yes, because like
we can
I
figure it
think
out along the way, kind of thing.
yes, because like you can't be type like, as a founder, I think like you'll become crazy if you try and type A your way out of like in everything in your life, your personal
Yeah,
life, your business, right? Your health, your how you organize time with friends and family. Like you just become like you're a robot. You can't
yeah. You
not I'm
can't be
not
so
calling myself a
rigid.
robot, right? But you exactly. You can't be so rigid. And look, life is you can have whatever plan you want, but life is going to take it and be like, no, this is not like you think this is the plan, but actually this is the plan, right? So
Yeah,
you can't like when people ask me what's your 5-year plan, I'm like, I cannot tell you that. I'm so sorry. Like that's just as much as I love those questions, I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I don't plan my life out like that. So I'm only type
5 year
A
plan.
to some extent, right? And then it's like I gotta
Gotcha.
chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
I've I used to be. I think there was a point where like I was seeing success in like maybe my second company. That's when it was like a hard type A, but I was like
yeah,
so focused and like so driven. Because when you scale to a certain amount, you're like, I bet I can 10x this if I just do
yeah.
more of this. And so I learned to
I love
chill
it.
out.
Love it.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know. Maybe that's type C, right? Hybrid. I don't know. Whatever it
Yeah,
is.
maybe we do like a podcast episode where me, and Connor we like dive into our Myers-Briggs or like I don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
I love that stuff. That is
Yeah.
like
Okay.
I have a problem when it comes to self-discovery. I'm like, Myers-Briggs, cool. You want to talk to me about the Enneagram? Awesome. You want me to take the Strengths Finder test? Cool. I'm going to do that. You want me to, I don't know, anything that I can look into regarding, how to better understand myself so I can then, you know, show up as my best self at work and in
Mhm.
my personal life. I'm like, yeah, it's like crack for me. I just love that. So maybe there's an episode where we kind of like do a deep dive and then yeah, figure out like
Okay.
the similarities and what have you one of these
Mhm.
days. Just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, down. I think Connor's more type A.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think so.
I need to build a relationship with you two more to like pinpoint it, but I could see
Mhm.
it.
Yeah,
I could
we've
see
never
it.
seen each other in person.
No, we haven't.
We've been working. Pardon me, Connor and I mean, we've
Yes,
been working
yes.
together for 4 years. Obviously, just a couple weeks, you and I, and
Yeah.
collectively the three of us. But yeah, at some point we will see each other. Um, I think y'all should buzz over to Colorado. We just buzz up to the mountains and go ski or something.
Say less, say less.
Yeah,
That's easy for me being out
yeah.
in San Francisco, so I would love that.
Um, so yeah, that was roughly my week. Yeah, so all that to say, let me loop back to Raleigh. Very excited, heard great things about the area that we're going to check out. We'll go to a hockey game, with her parents, and her parents are they're from outside of Raleigh, like not too far. So we'll go to a good barbecue spot. I love barbecue. I freaking love barbecue.
Mm,
And yeah, her dad's awesome. Both her parents are great, but yeah, her dad's the kind of guy that can like talk to anybody and like very like
yeah.
charismatic. And so his name is Stu. I call him Disco Stu, like on The
Oh,
Simpsons. I call him Disco
cute.
Stu. So yeah, we'll get together, maybe have a soda pop or two, and
A soda pop?
talk
Oh my
about life.
God.
Yeah.
Who says that? Oh
Well,
wow.
it's an old hockey saying. You ever like a
Okay,
pop or
okay,
two? Yeah.
okay, okay.
Old Canadian, those
It's like,
crafty
wow, a soda
Canadians.
pop.
Yeah, well, root beer float. So yeah, I think I'm not gonna try and act like I know when we're heading back to Denver, but it's sometime next week. I don't know.
Got it. Got it.
I'll
Of
probably know.
course,
So
your type B
yeah,
self's like, I'm gonna just show up at the airport
yeah.
when it says it on my phone and then
When
we're
the Uber
good.
pulls up, it's yeah, when the scheduled Uber is there, yeah, then I know it's time. So anyway, okay, so last week we talked about a rebrand. What goes
We
into
did.
that? We're going to rebrand the pod. It's a working title, AI Code Central. Mallory said your title of the podcast is hot garbage, so it needs to change. So we've been kind of throwing some ideas around of like launchpad. As we get into the angel investing side, a launchpad, maybe like a, I don't know, is an
I like
incubator.
Launchpad actually. Launchpad's interesting because to me, like the word launch kind of covers marketing, like go to market, building and launching something, obviously. Um, and the pad component makes it feel like it's a place or a space or what have you. So I actually think that's kind of interesting.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
and I think
I like it.
the
And it's
value
two
that
syllables, launch pad. It's easy. It's two syllables. Like
is that what is that kind of like the I don't know, rule, I guess, the
there's
law of
no
the land,
rules,
the
but
law
it's
of the
like
land, like you want it to be
you want it
maybe
to be
two to
easy
three
to
syllables.
say. Yeah, you want
Okay,
it
I
to be
get
easy
that.
to say, right? Like, I think I was talking to my sister this morning and she's like, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "Well, I'm recording a podcast." She's like, "What's the podcast called?" And I was like, I was like, it's called AI Code Central Podcast. And
What'd she say?
she's just like, "Oh, that's so exciting," but like, it's just okay. Like she's excited. She wasn't like, "That's a shit name." I was like, "We're working on the name. We're working on the name, you know." But I think she's just like,
Okay.
okay, like yeah. But like, anyway, but it's just a mouthful. It's just a mouthful. You know what I
I
mean? Like,
got
I
you. Yeah.
think that's really what it is for me. It's not that it's like bad. It's just it's a mouthful, and I think something like Launchpad Charlie is great because it's just easy to say. It actually makes sense with what we're doing.
Hmm.
Um, so there's something there. There's something
Okay. So
on
we
us
can
noodling on that name specifically. And then you had a different idea too.
uh
Incubator. You said
oh
incubator,
yeah,
right?
incubator.
Something.
I don't know if that's the right because I think the core of what we'll be doing, well, the heartbeat, I guess, linchpin is the podcast. But as we get
Hmm.
into like more educational content of like SEO and paid ads and community slash branding,
Yeah.
there'll be an arm to that. So I don't know if that's
I don't hate it.
fits.
I think we'd have to attach another word to it. Of course. It's interesting because like the word incubator to me, like immediately I think of like, okay, we're in the heart of Silicon Valley. We're like early 20s. We're like building something in a garage with other
Yeah,
founders that
yeah.
like are also, trying to build.
Like
And
like
I
the
like
the
the
show on
energy of
HBO,
that.
like
Oh my God.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley,
That's one of the funniest shows.
it's so
I
good.
can't say some of the things I
No,
was
it is
dying laughing.
real.
Is
It's
it okay?
that show, okay, based on I've been in San Francisco for those of you listening now for almost 10 years. And
Oh,
I've worked in all kinds of startups. And that show is too real. Like it's freaking hilarious. And then unfortunately, it is too real. Even today, like watching that show again, like I'm like, this is like my experience, you
it's
know.
such a funny show.
It's so
It's
funny.
so funny. The writing is so good on it.
Yeah.
It's freaking what's the guy's name? He's from Denver.
Is he?
The owner of the incubator, the house.
Well, I only know Pied Piper.
Oh,
That's all.
okay. The kind of heavier
That's
set
the
guy, the guy with the really big
yes,
personality.
yes. I
He
know who you're
is, oh
talking
my God, his
about.
character is
It's
so
so
funny.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that,
There's some truth to it, unfortunately. A little bit to
yeah.
that show. Yeah.
Uh, okay, so incubator, that's kind of what I think of. So,
But like what I was
um,
gonna say is, and how that ties back to us, Charlie, is okay, yes, we have the podcast, you're building out this product. We're thinking like, how do we support founders in the long term? We're gonna do this educational content component. So I can see us building like a mini digital incubator. So I could see that working.
okay,
I kind of hate how mouthy and how it's like
yeah,
it's a little bit of a mouthful, but I think if we attach it to something really interesting, I'd be down.
I like that. I like
So
that digital incubator. Doesn't Gary Vee do something like that with his
I wouldn't be
agency?
surprised. He
I, th
probably
I
does.
think he does something with that, like dated brands and then runs it through his conveyor belt
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
um, rebrands it.
And that would be
Anyway,
cool, like, thinking dreaming big here. It would be cool over time to be like, okay, how do we do like little workshops where we do IRL incubators with
yeah.
like a small set of, founders or builders. And what does that look like? And that's because I'm such an IRL person, but I would love, that's like my dream. Like, how do we, yeah, take it from digital to testing it or experimenting it IRL. And that I literally that just popped in my brain. I'm like, I have to say it because I'm gonna lose it, but just a thing, an idea to
What if
plant.
what if we did a build-a-thon, and then the winner of
Oh,
that we can invest, and then we can do the hands-on approach of the three arms of marketing that
that's cool.
we
That's
provide.
cool.
That'd be cool.
And I did help, execute the world's largest hackathon. So
You did?
just a little bit. So like perhaps we can,
Yeah,
take
that's
that
that's
and
still
then
bananas. That like
our
the world's
combined brains.
largest hackathon.
Yeah.
That's banana
Yeah.
lands.
Exactly. And then we'll
That's
figure out what that looks like for us. And it's funny that you say build-a-thon because when I was working on the hackathon before, when I joined the company, I was like, we need to rebrand this to being called a build-a-thon because we're attracting so many people that are non-technical.
yeah,
And
yeah,
unfortunately, it's a blocker. For most people, when you go, hey, do you want to participate in a hackathon? They're going to be like, I'm not an engineer. Why would I ever
yeah.
participate in something like that? So I
Hmm.
remember when I joined, I was like, eventually we should rebrand to build-a-thon so that we can kind of own that word and expand outside of like what the word hackathon means. So, yes, I like that you're
Okay.
already thinking about that,
I'm
Charlie.
down. By the way, did they change that? Do you know?
No, I'm not. I don't think they're hosting, from what I know. I think they're partnering with a ton of different hackathons. And actually, that was a community program I worked on at the end of my time at Bolt. Was like
Hmm.
there was so much inbound of all these different hackathons from businesses that were running them internally to college campuses. And so I was like, we should build a scalable program here because the
Yeah.
inbound we're getting is insane. And okay, we toss them a few codes, we give them a few we give them some swag, and now, people builders are using our tools during the actual hackathon itself. And so that was like a community program I worked on scaling at the end of my time there. But um, yeah, I don't know if they're going to throw another hackathon or what that would look like, but maybe they'll use that term. So we'll see. I didn't kind of get to do anything around that term while I was there, but I'm not sure what their plans are. So we'll see.
Can I ask? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Uh, how did your team get some of those like big names like Calacanis and like um Imagine Dragons?
Mm,
Did Imagine
well,
Dragons play the concert?
Chainsmokers played the
Or
concert, and
Imagine
that's
Dragons.
okay. And then the
Chainsmokers.
Chainsmokers also invested in the company. So you can imagine that when you have those type of investments in your company, not only are you receiving those funds, but then you also can tap into their network, right? And so that is what we did. Not necessarily for Jason Calacanis per se, but I think like we just had really great investors, great board members that have these really great connections.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to play the concert that we kicked off with. And then look, I think you and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, Charlie, about the importance of momentum when it comes to building as a founder.
Yeah.
And I think what was really sexy about Bolt back in the spring is that they just had this undeniable sort of momentum being built up not just by themselves, but organically by the community. So
Yeah.
someone we should interview, actually, who we should eventually interview on this podcast. His name is KP. And
Oh yeah, you've made mention of them.
I have mentioned him. And I know when we brought on Suk,
Yeah.
Suk has also, I know he's really close with KP as well, but he's very
KP.
well known as like the guy that it like will build in public in the developer space in particular. Like and he basically put out a tweet that was like, if Lovable or, Bolt.new like throws the world's
Oh,
largest hackathon this year, it's going to be like the marketing campaign of the year.
that
And
was
then
him.
Eric,
Okay.
who's the CEO, responded to that and was like, we're going to do it, right?
Okay.
And so by the time I had joined the company, we were going to do it. It was more so like, how are we going to do this? What's the executionary plan? And so what I'm trying to say is like it started to build this momentum on X, and then the folks like Jason Calacanis, right? And within the space, when they get approached and we get to ask them, not only do we have this like robust network because of our investors, but then we have this sort of like external momentum and people want to be a part of that, I think. And then of course it's like for the Jason Calcanises, it's like, when it came to the judging period, he was not going to, we asked the judges a lot for their time and like he's not going to be the type of person who has
Yeah.
a lot of time. So making sure that like our asks are very straightforward, easy for him to kind of
Yeah.
be a part of, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then look, like once you get a few amazing judges locked down, you share that. So it's like he wasn't one of the first judges to lock down. It's more like, hey, we're throwing the world's largest hackathon. Look at this momentum. We have a panel of 6 judges. Here are the names, name drop, right? Like, do you want to be a part of this? And that I think like, and that helps. And then on top of the fact that we had 20 different AI companies hop on board and want to be a part of the hackathon too. So I feel like it's a mix of like momentum and connections is
Gotcha.
what I would say on how we were able to like lock him down.
And that the timing too of the space of vibe coding was bananas.
Yep.
I mean, so
Yep.
many like that from an SEO background, that's my background. Just that keyword like AI code, vibe coding. I bought the domain vibecoding.com.
Oh my God.
I spent X amount on it.
No way.
Yeah, I have that. And then that was kind of why I wanted to, why I went with the name AI Code Central
Okay.
podcast. That's a mouthful.
No, it's okay. But like, I
But
think that's a really powerful domain, by the way.
yeah, I'm just sitting on it. I don't even
Yeah.
know what to do with it. So anyway, yeah, I mean that's the power of communities, right? Timing, and I think that's a very underrated component to startups and yeah,
Yeah,
traction. I think timing is
definitely.
huge. So
Definitely.
speaking,
It can sorry, I was just gonna say it could
yeah,
just completely make or break your
yeah,
startup. Like, when I was a founder myself and at the end, like, my company failed and it's sometimes like a mix of timing and luck and like all of these things that like are to some extent out of your control. Obviously, some of those things are in your control, but not everything. So yeah.
I think what you've learned though, we did talk about this a bit yesterday, is like so valuable though, going through that and like the direction that you want to go now,
Yeah,
as you start your agency. I mean, I would
definitely.
imagine it'll be like 10 times easier,
I think so. I
like
think
going through
so.
that.
And
Um,
not to, beat a dead horse, but also Charlie and I were talking about just like how important sales is. And I know Charlie's talked about that, I'm sure, on many, 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 many episodes. But as someone who doesn't have a formal sales background, becoming a founder taught me how to do that. And it is an invaluable skill
yeah,
that I'm so glad I have now. Yeah.
you can hone that. It takes years and years to craft, years and years and years, many
Yeah.
punches square in the teeth that takes
Yep.
to hone. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So
You got to get
um,
knocked down and then you get back up and you try
yeah.
again, you know?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So yeah, we were talking communities earlier, and we've got Ryan Carson. The dude's a boss. He's leading the charge. His community is, I have to look up our show notes again here. Build Crew. So it looks like they're teaches people how to ship with AI agents. And so I initially saw that. I was on X. I mean, I saw him on Claire Vaux's podcast, and then on Twitter. I followed him on Twitter, and then he put something out that was like, "Hey, like, what's your favorite band?" And then he said, "Mine is Rage Against the Machine." I was like, okay, all right, this guy, all right." And then I tweeted back and I said, "Mine is Metallica." By the way, I'm wearing a Metallica shirt right now. I said, "Mine is Metallica."
Is that a coincidence
No, no,
or
no. I have like five. So,
oh my
and
gosh.
actually, I was talking to my girlfriend about this. I only own like 9 or 10 shirts, and like three of them are
Oh my.
I know. Well, that I wear. I have like a lot.
Mm.
I don't have need now to wear like real nice like college. I have them.
I mean, of course, if you're
I
going to
just
be locked in Google API land in your basement for 5 days, why would
yeah.
you need to wear a suit? You know what I
Thanks,
mean?
Google. Scumbags. So, uh, yeah, he said Rage. I said, okay. I responded back with Metallica. And he's like, oh yeah, great choice. And then I did some digging. I think I knew this a couple of weeks ago too, but I did some digging into Sourcecraft, the company, and a guy I went to high school with works there, and we went to that Metallica concert. I'm like 99% sure that's him. So that'll probably be one of the first things I
So
ask him. But
crazy.
um, But yeah, that's who we've got lined up here, Ryan Carson. So yeah, when we throw it over there.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
All right, we are back with Ryan Carson. Ryan, thank you for joining the podcast.
No problem. Excited to be here. Talk about all things AI, community, and more.
Ryan, for our audience, I follow you on X, and you put out a tweet. What's your favorite band? And I even have a screenshot on our episode outline. Like, what's your favorite band? And you said Rage Against the Machine. And I was like, okay,
Let's go.
I think this guy gets it. I said Metallica.
Metallica's pretty great. But Mallory, what about you? What's your favorite band?
What's my favorite brand? Oh
Oh,
man, I'm an indie gal. I'm an indie rock gal. So I like Foster the People, Empire of the Sun, The
Empire of the Sun.
Parcels. Ooh,
Wow.
they're so good.
Oh,
Yeah, I just saw them in concert, and not to be one of those people, but it was definitely a religious experience. So
wow. What about MGMT? Are you a fan of them too?
they're
No.
good. I feel like they've had a good
That
few, but
means
they're not
no.
good live. They're not good live. Like they've got a few hits, and like that's fine, but I don't think they're very great live, you know?
Yeah,
So
I get it. I actually grew up super religious. I thought I was going to be a pastor, and I'm not that person anymore. But so switching to Rage Against the Machine was a big life moment for me. And we won't go too dark here, but basically my parents got divorced, and I got mad about it, and then I listened to Rage Against the Machine, and I liked it.
no,
Man,
that's powerful. I actually had a similar journey. I was going to be a youth minister in the Catholic Church.
No way.
really?
I was about to major in religious studies before I
Oh my gosh.
realized I wanted to work in games and on the internet, which was,
Ah,
it broke my parents' heart. So I can
yeah.
only imagine what that was like for you to like, about to be a pastor and then just switch things up.
Yeah, it's like
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm gonna do something else and code instead.
That's it. Yeah. I will say that album, Battle of Los Angeles, is incredible. That is an
Oh yeah.
that's an all-timer.
I mean, Zach De La Roche, like as a lead singer, he has so much passion and the music's so good. And it's like it's fun music to listen to if you're a little bit angry. So it's like
Yeah.
great. So
Have you seen him live?
no, this is the crazy thing. I was for the first time I was gonna go see him with a friend and then COVID happened. And so we couldn't.
Okay,
Mm.
gotcha.
So it's on my list.
Gotcha. Well, Ryan, we've got the music out of the way. Why don't you tell our audience who you are and really what you're doing in the AI space?
Yeah, sure. So I first fell in love with computers because my dad brought home an Apple IIe computer in, I think it was 87. And I was like, what is that? And so I started playing with it and totally fell in love. But then, sort of didn't end up going down the programming route until I was walking down the hallway in my high school, and my calculus teacher, Miss Bruce, who was super
Okay.
cool.
Shout out, Miss Bruce.
She changed my life because she basically tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, Ryan, you should take our computer programming class." And I was like, "What's computer programming?" And she said, "It's where you tell the computer what to do and it does it." And I was like, "What? Okay, I want to do that." And so I learned Turbo Pascal, and it blew my mind how you start with a blank screen and then you summon this creation like out of nothing, right? And so fell in love with programming, uh, and then ended up studying computer science, and so went that route. And like I said, my parents got divorced, and I was like, I'm out of here. So I to Colorado State, so Charlie, kind of close to your neck of the woods, and then I was like, I'm just going to totally change my life, and I'm going to move somewhere. So I watched Notting Hill, which is the world's best movie, in case you weren't clear about that. And I was like, I'm going to move to London. So moved to London, was a web developer there, and then just kind of, like most people, bumped around and figured out what was going on. And I really discovered I was an entrepreneur at heart. And I was like, I want to be my own boss. Um, and what actually happened to that is I was working at this web development studio, and my boss was just a terrible person. And he gave us this insane deadline to get this F1 website live, because we worked for one of the F1 teams. And it literally took us like 48 hours of straight work. I slept underneath my desk,
Oh yeah.
we shipped it, it went live. And then the moment I decided to become an entrepreneur was he walked down. He came in the morning. We had slept there, and he walked up to our desk and said, "Okay, cool. You know, you shipped it. Way to go. And like, here's a 6 pack of beer." And I just remember thinking, I'm done. And so, anyways, just I was like, I can do what he does, and so started my first company, built a SaaS app, and then that was acquired. Then went on to start another company. Decided to get really passionate about teaching people how to code, because if you know how to code, you can change the world and change your life.
Mhm.
And then just did that for 10 years. Ended up launching an online school called Treehouse. Raised venture capital for that. Scaled the team. Taught about 1 million people how to code. And then that was acquired in 2021. And then large language models happened, right? You know, and I had studied neural networks in college and the perceptron, and none of it worked. And all of a sudden, you know, pre-trained generative transformers and large language models change everything. So went deep on that, you know, learned everything, built an app, and then realized, yeah, this is exciting. Used agents, you was using Cursor, and then someone said AMP, and I was like, what's AMP? And I tried it, and I was like, wow, this is an amazing coding agent. I love it. And then decided to join the team as a builder in the residence, where basically I'm building my startup on the side and using AMP to do it and building community around it. So it's been a circuitous journey,
Mm.
but here I
Okay.
am.
Okay. Question about CSU
Uh-oh.
at college. Was there a place called DP Dough that was there when you were in
It
college?
deepy dough.
They
No,
had the best
remember I was
calzones.
really, but remember all I did is go to Bible studies during college. So I,
Okay, okay.
didn't have fun or do anything, you know, great. So
Okay,
Oh
gotcha. They had
man.
the we used to get that just crippled and it was like delivered to your door and it was so good. So
yeah,
that's
that
yeah,
sounds
that
dangerous.
that's what I took out of that. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess like a more serious question, I feel like you've kind of seen the evolution and have been a part of tech from like the just the early days. And so what is like the biggest shift that you've personally seen in software since like the early web days? And what has
Yeah.
that been like for you?
The world we live in is a brand new world. Like you know, I keep saying to people, this is not just like the iPhone or, you know, even the internet. AI is the creation of a new type of computer. Like this is a new type of compute, right? This is fundamentally as big as that, right? And so the reason why I say that is because, yeah, I've lived through the whole model. Like you're a developer, you join a company as a web developer, you build products, you know, then you decide you want to start a company, you build the first primitive MVP yourself, and then you scale
Yep.
up, you raise money and you build a big team and, you know, and then hopefully you have an outcome. And now you don't need any of that. I mean, it's so crazy to me. So like I'm building my startup by myself now. So I'm the CTO, I'm the CEO, I'm the product manager, I'm the front end developer, I'm the back end developer, you know, I'm the
Wow.
infrastructure guy. I'm all of it
Hmm.
because of AI. Um, and so we really are going to see the rise of, you know, the 1 to 10 person companies that are building hyper specialized vertical agents, right? And there's going to be 1 million of these, right? And the startup I'm building is another example. It's a very niche vertical agent, right? And all these people who have understanding of a problem, you know, but didn't think of themselves necessarily as a technical founder or even a founder
Hmm.
will realize like, oh yeah, you can start really easy with a bolt, a replit, a lovable, et cetera. Then you basically learn how to code with a more advanced agent like an AMP or like a cursor. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I can build a company now. And if you are hungry and you have agency yourself, um, and you're willing to work, like there's nothing you can't do now. I mean, before, you know, I taught 1 million people how to code. Learning how to code is hard, super hard, right?
Yep.
And and so now it's hard, but it's much easier because you have this infinitely patient, almost all knowing tutor, you know, for basically free. You know, we just actually launched a free version of AMP like 3 weeks ago, and now so literally it's free. Like if you want to learn how to code or code for free, you can. So what a time to be alive! It's just totally insane.
And as someone who has recently kind of come out of the vibe coding space and has worked in that space, has done marketing in that space, has built community, I feel like it's very noisy, it's very crowded. And so positioning and messaging and making sure that your product, of course, is like the best of the best is really important. And I love that you said that you're really focused on a very specific niche because I think that's where you'll find success. But I'm curious to hear about like why you're focusing so heavily on agents right now and what's that problem that you're trying to solve for builders, especially in a space right now that's very competitive and very noisy.
Yeah. So so Ryan has two hats, right? So I have my, founder startup hat where I'm building my own startup, and then I'm a builder in residence at AMP, right? So I'll put on my AMP hat, right, and say, you know, developers need a really good agent, right? And there's all sorts of choice right now. There's Copilot, like on the bottom end, like it works. It's not amazing, and then you have ideally what's on the top end for serious developers. And I would say AMP is on that end. Like if you want a real power tool, you should be using AMP. Then if you're kind of in the, if you're starting off and you're not coding, like I said, there's a Lovable, there's a Bolt, there's a V0
Sure.
to kind of get you started. And then if you need more hand holding, there's, various IDEs like a Cursor or a Windsurf. Uh, and I think AMP is just on the top end of that. If you really want to build some really amazing things, then AMP is good for that. So that's kind of the way I see it. But we're just in like we're not even in the first inning here, right? So of agents and what's
Mm,
going to happen in the coding space. So I'm excited to be a part of the AMP team. I think we're going to be one of several winners in that space. But if I put on my startup, CEO hat, um, and I'm being sort of cagey about what I'm building because it's not really ready for the public yet.
good, good.
It's a specialized vertical agent. With that, it's like, okay, we're going to have millions of agents. And a lot of what people thought were jobs are going to be now run by highly specialized agents. And then the humans will puppeteer those agents. Right. So we're going into that world.
Got it, got it. So what initially drew you to AMP?
Um, so, I was just coding night and day, using Cursor.
Okay, all
And
right.
I was building my startup with that and loved it. I mean, Cursor is an amazing product. The team's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great, right? So I was using it, talking to the team a lot, was, using all their beta features and giving feedback. And then I live on X. So I've been on Twitter for 19 years, literally. So I
Wow.
signed up in 2006. And so my whole community is on X, and then someone posted a tweet and they said, Cursor or Claude Code. Because at the time that was the big choice.
Yep.
And then someone in the comments said, AMP. I was like,
Okay.
what is that? Like, I've never even heard of this. And so I tried it and I was kind of annoyed because I pride myself in knowing every single tool and framework and library. So I tried it and I was like, whoa, that was good. Like it just did what I wanted. But it was very opinionated. It didn't have a model selector. So you couldn't even choose what model the agent was using. And it didn't
Okay.
ask to accept the diffs. It just changed your code. And I was like, what is happening? And I started tweeting about it, both like, this is amazing and this is annoying. And then the CEO DM'd me. His name's Quinn, and he's very active on X and very engaged with our customers. He's amazing. And he's like, hey, man, let's have a meeting and talk about this stuff. And so we just, chopped it up and started talking about the whole industry and what's happening. And that impressed me. I was like, man, there are very few founder CEOs that are this active and this proactive
Mhm.
at actually communicating to their customers. And when I hopped on the call with him, it was like, man, this guy gets it. And he's like, well, why don't you join and build your startup, and use AMP
Cool.
and help us build a community. And I was like, well, that sounds amazing. And
Is
did it.
it is the tool still like that where it just kind of does it and like doesn't give you a plan like you were saying, it just
No, no.
executes?
You have, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can plan, you can do all sorts of stuff. But what it doesn't do is ask you to accept the diffs. So, like, if you say change my code, a lot of tools will say, well, here's what I'm gonna do. Do you
Yeah,
accept
yeah.
it? Like, and AMP just changes the code, right? Because it's super smart. So, and that just surprised me. I was used to this step of where you accept the diff and say, yeah, it's okay, make that change.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then after a while, I realized how primitive it was to have to, okay the agent every time it wanted to change a file. It was really handicapping the agent.
It's not really an agent then, right?
Not really. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like you're on a super tight leash, and what's the
Yeah.
point of that? So I loved how opinionated the AMP team was.
Got it. Okay. I asked because we're building an app right now, and I'm dealing with and I've complained about this for like the past month. The Google Ads API, that thing
Oh
is
my God, that is
gnarly,
it's super
gnarly.
annoying. I know. Like, how
So,
can you be a $1 trillion company almost, and have your main product have an API that's so terrible?
oh my gosh, it's like GA4 is fine. Search Console's actually like really good, and that freaking Ads API is giving me brain damage. So, I
I
was in
know.
this error loop last night, and I'm like, if they're like, I'm unlovable. And I'm like, okay, how does this, okay, it's this, that, without getting too technical, okay, how does this get fixed? So if I now, with that in mind, I went to the YouTube channel and I saw a thumbnail that says how the Oracle breaks you out of AI agent doom loops. Would that
Yes.
solve what I went through last night and kept me up for about 4 hours past my
Yeah.
bedtime?
So it's the AMP team. We've chosen to do something kind of interesting, which is where when you want extra intelligence and you want to basically walk over to a senior engineer and tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I have this problem with the Google Ads API. I can't figure it out. Can you help me?" You don't need, a senior engineer like that very often, but sometimes you really do. And so being able to go over to her and say, "Will you look at this thing," is amazing. So we call it the Oracle, right? So all you do is, you'll be in your chat, and most of the time we're using Sonnet 4.5 right now as the primary agent
Nice. Yeah.
model. And we have a ton of sub agents that use all sorts of different models, but the main agent is Sonnet 4.5 right now. Um, and then what you do is all you do is type the Oracle, the words, and say, "Hey, why don't you ask the Oracle how to fix this bug?" What it will do is it will make a sub agent call to a highly specialized agent called the Oracle, and it uses GPT-5 with like super custom system prompt, extra tools. And I tell you, almost every time I have a gnarly bug where if I'm going around with the agent like more than twice, I just call the Oracle, and it's kind of shocking like how well it works. So
Really? Okay.
it's super cool.
All right, so that's what you got to do, Charlie, to fix some of the problems that you were dealing with
Talk to the
last night.
Oracle.
Yeah, talk to the Oracle.
Great.
It's that easy. It's that easy.
Why didn't I think of that? Like I picture in my head like the Matrix and like, he walks in the kitchen and there's
Yeah.
the Oracle. I think
It's
she's
like that. She serves cookies,
yeah, I was gonna say she bakes cookies, right? Like
just like in the movie. I mean, so the question is, well, why wouldn't you always use the Oracle? I don't understand. And well, the idea is because a lot of tasks just you don't need a lot of
Mm,
intelligence for. It's like edit this and change the variable name to
yeah,
blah blah blah. But sometimes you do, and you need more intelligence and a
yeah,
better system prompt. And the Oracle is really, really good at that.
got it.
very
Got it.
cool. So what I think is really interesting is that you have been building communities for over 20 years, and I'm curious on why you think community matters more now, especially with the internet just being flooded with AI slop, AI noise. Like, why do you think community is so important right
Mm.
now?
I think because we are finding our humanness even more precious than before. Um, now when you can, talk to a being, on your phone, that is very intelligent and empathetic and kind and knows you well, it's even more important, and I'm talking about like ChatGPT, for instance. Like I talk
Yeah.
a lot to ChatGPT. I have a lot of helpful, valuable conversations, with it, but it's not human, right? And we're a long way from us like truly feeling connected to these, large language model agent, AIs. So I think community is very important to us as humans. Like we have evolved this way. We've evolved to gather around a campfire, right?
Mm.
And to trust small groups of people and help small groups of people and recognize, okay, this person helps me, I'm going to help them. Like we've evolved this way. And so I think community is built into our DNA. Number one. Number two, it's never been, I think, more scary than now because everyone's realizing that they are standing on unstable ground. You know, everything we thought about the way the economy works,
Yeah.
marketing works, company building works, finance works. It's all shifting. And so more than ever, you need a group of humans, that you can chat to about that. And I want to take it way back. So like back in 2000, like I had moved to London and I didn't know anybody, literally nobody. So I moved and I used to go to church back then. So I went to church, right? Because I needed community. Like, I'm like, I
Of
don't know
course.
anybody. I don't know how to connect to anybody. I'm not just going to walk up to some person in a bar. Like, I don't do that. So I went to church and ironically met another guy named Ryan, which is hilarious. And he was a web designer and I was a web developer and we hit it off. And then we decided like let's do a meetup where we talk about web design, web development. Let's invite
Mm.
people. Let's invite people to a bar and put a projector on the wall, show work and talk about it. And it blew up. So we ended up doing these events around the whole world. Nights and weekends we would fly around. We called it Creative Fight Club. And
Mhm.
and that was
So
community.
fun.
So it's like that was the moment where I realized like people need connection. And then
Yeah.
ended up scaling that to the point where it's like I love building communities of developers. And now that we're in AI land, it's just it's just hard to keep up. It's scary, it's confusing. You need
Yeah.
emotional support. And that's
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely. As someone who is really obsessed with like just the consumer sentiment around AI, especially when it comes to just like sustainability, how much power it's using, psychosis that some people are experiencing, the fear that it'll take jobs away. Like I'm always curious to hear, how you think about the humanist component within AI. And my question is that do you think AI agents will eventually become members of communities, or will communities become the last things that humans do better?
Yes. I think we would become integrated. Um, but I'm also like a techno optimist, so you should take what I think with a grain of salt. Like I read, Ray Kurzweil's stuff, whenever it came out a long time ago, thinking, yeah, w humans and machines are eventually, gonna evolve to be the same thing. Like, this is just evolution. Now that's like, okay, that's like a long ways away. But now, what about today? I think, I spend hours and hours every day building an agent. And I work at AMP where we're building an agent, right? And I can see these things becoming more and more sentient, right? Not literally, but like in their with their toolbox and their abilities, they are able to do more and more, right? And so, yeah, I think at some point you're going to have super complex agents that give a lot of what you would need from a human. But I think as humans, we're still going to want and desire connection to other humans. As great as AIs are and will be,
Yeah.
you're just going to want humans around too.
Yeah. I definitely predict that there will be like the rise of just human only type services.
Totally. I think you're probably right. What do you think that, like, give me an example of how you think that'll manifest?
Wow. I mean, I'm just, for example, I know the artist Rosalia just came out with a wonderful new song and album this past week, and it's very classical in nature. And she talks about how this entire album and this song was only made by humans and
Mm.
humans
Mm.
sort of playing the instruments and singing. There was no AI in the creation of this song. And
Interesting.
so I think from an art perspective, we will see more and like we already have it, right? We already have human-centric art, but I think you're going to see that positioning and that narrative around how artists show up with their work. And I just saw that in Rosalia's music in the past week. Um, I
Mm.
think that with the rise of obviously ChatGPT, Claude, character AI, and what have you, and just having easy access to speak to any sort of AI personality you can have access to. I can now see the pendulum swing to the other side in a similar way. I don't know what the structure of that would look like, but making sure that when you're connecting to someone that it is human and it is not AI. I don't know. Those are some of my random predictions,
Hmm.
but
I think you're right. I mean, I think I have a lot of people in my life that do things. One of them is my wife. She makes jewelry, um, and I think she's crafting this essentially artwork, and it's very human, and she sells to other humans, and it's very physical and human. And I think we'll continue to see that. I think when it comes to, though, access to information and services, what we're going to want and expect these things to be agent augmented, right? So
Yeah.
my startup is in
Mm.
the legal space. And so it's like, okay, we need more access to legal expertise. Like, we need the price to drop here. Like, we
Yeah.
need the expertise to increase. So this is where, certain fields are going to be made
Yeah.
much better by agents and large language
Yeah.
models.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
husband's a high chiropractor as well, so he puts his hands on people every single day. My sister's a pastry chef, so I see those types of roles sort of, at least for now, mostly being human centric.
Mallory, when you were at Bolt, this is kind of a random question, but when you were at Bolt, Mallory, after the hackathon, was there still an emphasis on community at Bolt, or was that kind of like on the back burner, would you say? Or like were they pushing that hard?
I mean, they were, but I think at the same time, the business was pivoting. I feel like, Ryan kind of laid out the spectrum really nicely earlier in the pod, and that like Lovable and Bolt are more prosumer types of tools. Like if you
Yeah.
are not a developer, but you need to like build a mock-up or a prototype and you have no technical skills, those tools are really great. But when it comes to actually building a product at scale, right, that can be used by millions, that can be trustworthy, et cetera, like there are other tools like AMP, like Cursor,
Mm.
et cetera, that are out there to support that. And the business kind of wanted to start to shift into an enterprise direction. And so the question then becomes, how do you build community when you're building an enterprise business, and what does that look like? Or that sort of B to C to B type of mentality. And so it wasn't that community was important. It was more so how does that shift
Mm.
was
Gotcha.
the question. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan, so how, in regards to AMP, like how technical does somebody have to be to get involved? Like I learned to code from YouTube basically, and just
Great.
not having a social
So did
life for
I.
like 2 years. Okay. Not having a social life for like 2 years and just coding and just going
Yeah.
nuts. How technical can somebody what's the barrier to entry?
Like, yeah, I would say, so, I mean, I have a computer science degree, but the reality is I learned how to code. You actually don't learn very much that's useful when you study computer science, just FYI.
Really?
Yeah, you learn about, binary, and you write stuff in Lisp. I mean, it's just all very
Okay.
theoretical. Maybe it's not, maybe it's less so today, but anyway, but I learned how to program by reading O'Reilly books and watching videos and reading tutorials, right? So, and I use AMP every day. So I think AMP is designed for engineers, right? Okay, so we're not for vibe coders that don't want to understand the code. Like, if you don't want to see code, AMP's not right for you. But if you want to, see the code, read the code a little bit, understand it, talk intelligently to an agent about it, have a real power tool, AMP is perfect for you. So we're very far away from like a lovable bolt replit. So I'll say that. But it's sort of like, okay, so you have an amazing chef, right? And they have a beautiful knife, right? So it's a tool, right? And they will choose the most beautiful, sharpest, well-crafted knife in the world because they literally use it in their job. They're a professional, right? We view AMP as that tool, right? So discerning, high-level experienced engineers love AMP, right? But just like you watch, a chef like a Jamie Oliver or someone like that, and they use a sharp knife, you may not be yet a professional chef, but you still want to use a good tool because someone you respect uses that tool. So we have a lot of folks that are becoming engineers use AMP as well. But I'd say if you just, if you don't really have any interest in the code, then go for a, lovable bolts, V0 type of thing. One thing I want to touch on is the launch of Build Crew. So we decided, there really should be a community for people coding with agents. That's like a unique thing that people do, right? So I want to write code, but I want to do it with an agent. And we felt like there wasn't a community that welcomed everybody. There was very product specific communities, right? Where if you used, product X, then you could come to that community and go to their meetups. Or if you use product Y, you could go to those meetups or that.
Hmm.
What about, hey, I use a lot of these tools and sometimes I interchange them. We launched Build Crew for that. And the idea is if you are building with agents and writing code with agents, you are welcome to join. And so we launched that pretty recently, and we're already up to like, I think about over 1,500 people in that community. And uh,
Yeah.
so if anybody listening wants to join, it's free. Just go to buildcrew.team and we'd love to welcome you in.
And that's where you have like weekly stand-ups, or is it daily stand-ups
Yeah.
of what you're
So
building?
Well, so we do all sorts of stuff and experiment with like how do we help people. So we have a Discord where you just can come in and ask questions and get help. We have a weekly live stream. It's called Build Crew Live, where we invite on Build
Yeah.
Crew members, and we basically talk about like what are we doing this week, what's working, what's not. What is a useful tip and trick when it comes to coding with agents. And then we have basically leaderboards and badges as well. So as people unlock things, they get extra rewards and fun stuff. It should be an encouraging, fun place to be if you're building with
Oh,
agents.
yeah,
So
definitely.
with that, okay, I feel like that's so valuable, just like being in that space and like, oh, like here's me at like level one that's like building with agents, and I'm using this tool, and there's, oh yeah, I'm up, okay, I'm like there too. By the way, if you're listening to this, you just pull over and pull out YouTube. So like, yeah, if you're on like level three, you're like, oh yeah, I've been there before. Here, like, don't do this, do this, and then you can like level up. And
Yeah, it's
I
helping people out that I've been there, let me pull you up and help you because it feels good. Or if you have questions, you get them answered there as well. So it's that human connection I think we all crave.
I think as we record this in second week or so of November, what's next for that? Well, like, where's that going in the next couple months?
So I think we're going to introduce just more fun stuff. Like, so we have a leaderboard. So as you code with AMP, you get points, you unlock badges. And so I think we're just going to do fun stuff like, hey, the person that, changed the most lines of code this week gets a special badge and they get elevated in the community and we call them out. Or, hey, the person that shares the most helpful thread. Because whenever you talk to AMP, you get a thread that has its own URL. And so you can share those and you can star them and you can follow people. So people can actually share, like, here's how I talk to the agent and here's how I ship this feature. So if you share helpful threads, then we give rewards. We give away credits if you do that. So I think it's just it's almost like a gym. Like, how do you encourage people to use the gym, right? Have contests and rewards and
Yeah.
call outs and all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Do you feel like, well, two things. Do you feel like the way in which you've built community in the past has changed and shifted the way that you would do that today? And what does that approach look like? And
Hmm.
sort of my follow-up question as well is like, what is the most surprising or creative sort of agent or product that someone has built recently within the Build Crew community?
You know, the way I build community actually has not changed, I think, in 25 years. I mean, we've evolved over billions, right? So it's sort of like, I think, 25 years of human behavior is not going to change. I think people want to be recognized, they want to be supported, they want to be seen, they
Yep,
want to be supported, they want to be encouraged. It's all the same stuff. So it's like, well, how do you do it? And and that's what we're doing. So it's not rocket science. You just have to put in the work and do it.
definitely.
So
Definitely. It's like what I like to tell people, if you're gonna try and grow a plant from a seed, you're not gonna expect it to grow a flower the next day. With when it comes to community marketing and community building, you have to nurture it and support it and water it over time for you to really sort of have a meaningful community. So
totally.
I love that answer. I love that the answer is it hasn't changed because human connection ultimately has been the way that it has been for thousands of years.
Yep. Yeah. There's no shortcut or trick. You
Yep.
just got to put in the work.
So for Ryan's, for like, I don't know, maybe like first time founders or builders or whatever in your community, what are like three pieces of advice you would give them?
I mean, the first is just get your hands on the keyboard and start trying to build. Like I meet so many people who are like, oh, I mean, I could use AI to build this thing that does this thing, and I'm like, well, do it. you know, Go to ampcode.com/free. Sign up and you can literally code for free. Like that. So I think the first thing is just get your hands on the keyboard and try to figure it out. Is thing one. Thing two is don't try to bite off more than you can chew at first. Like just get a very primitive thing out in the world, right? And just see how people react to it. And it's always fun to remember, like if you go back and watch Mr. Beast's first video, how bad it is, right? It's just good to
Yeah.
remind yourself of these things. Like people's
Yeah.
first thing is always bad.
Yeah.
So get your first thing out because it'll be
Yep.
bad. You can get better. So that's part of it. And I think the third thing is just we really do live in a world where you can just do stuff now and talk to agents to get support, to get help. Like you're not alone anymore like you used to be. Not now, they're not human, but you definitely have a lot more support
Yeah.
than you ever had before. So just get out there and try to do it.
Just do it, huh? I
What
think
a powerful time to be a founder.
yeah, I think it's so
Yes.
imperative, so critical to surround yourself with the right people and doing
Yeah.
things like as long as you're aligned, I think that's pretty amazing stuff. So, build crew sounds awesome. I mean, hell, I'll probably jump in as soon as
Come
I.
on. Yeah, join us. It's fun.
Yeah, if y'all have answers with Google Ads API, I should have done that. Seriously, I think maybe you guys can pay my therapy invoice or something. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
the Oracle can answer that. Now I can, encourage you and build crews, right?
Okay,
So,
okay, gotcha. So as we wrap up here, Ryan, how can people find you and how can people find Build Crew?
I am just at ryancarson.com or on X, I'm Ryan Carson, or on LinkedIn, I'm Ryan Carson. It's like I'm everywhere. So hit me up and just hop in my DMs. Like I try to read all of them and respond to all of them.
I will
Um,
confirm that.
hey,
Yes, because I jumped in there. So yes,
okay, good.
that is accurate.
Success. And then, as far as Build Crew, just go to buildcrew.team. Like it's literally free. Apply, and then we let almost everybody in. We just want to make sure, like, yes, you have a GitHub account, for instance, stuff like that. And then
Gotcha.
we give you $100 of AMP for free as well. So join. It's fun. It's free. And then if you want a code for free, just go to ampcode.com/free. Like there's just no excuses now. You can go build stuff.
Just do it.
Absolutely. Just do it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Ryan, thank you for the time.
Thanks, y'all. This has been fun.
Thank you,
Yep, this is
Ryan.
good. All
I
right.
learned a
Cheers.
lot.
All right. We just wrapped up the Ryan Carson interview. Great interview. Cool dude, by the way.
What a
Um,
guy. What a
I think
guy. I mean, like, I think the fact that we get the chance to chat with people who have really just been through the whole evolution of the tech community and the tech scene and has adapted and changed to that, but at the same time, kind of like keeping some things core and just not like when it comes to building community, right? Like is really interesting.
I think that's huge what they're doing with his community's build crew and just surrounding yourself with the right people, which is critical as an entrepreneur, right? As a founder, surrounding yourself with the right people. And he's had 3 exits, I want to say.
Yeah, yeah. We
Uh,
didn't talk too much about that, but I know on his LinkedIn it talks about how he has built and sold 3 startups. So,
yeah,
um,
he's a pretty good resource.
yeah,
Yeah, he's the
yeah.
dude to talk to. So cool stuff there. What do we have as we wrap up here this episode? We're gonna get back to the episode next week, obviously, and chat about as I read off my list here, the update on the rebrand efforts.
Yes, yes. I think that if, of course, if you listened to last week, we did an entire workshop. We kind of just started asking some high level questions of, what we would want the brand to look like and who we're serving and how we want it to feel, how we want it to look. And so, we've been kind of sitting on that and would love to kind of chat through next week on some name update ideas and how we kind of like take it to the next level.
So after that, and by the like, I am like really interested just because I've been staring at this freaking thing for like months and months, and I kind of tell as an SEO background, I'm thinking like, oh man, like
Yeah.
what's she gonna come up with? Like where is this gonna go? But that's good because like we need this expertise. Like nobody knows this better than you. So yeah, this expertise is much needed. Also, hopefully, I say in bold loud words, hopefully the Google Ads API will not cause brain damage for me anymore. We can debut our app campaign pilots that will help builders and agency owners properly know what's going on with their data via GA4 Search Console, Google Ads.
Okay.
So hopefully that approval process will go through. Good. I was up to 1 a.m. last night dealing with that.
Okay, we need to pray to the Google API gods.
For my
Okay.
mental health, yes. For my own sanity. Connor should be back next week. The third
Yay.
arm of this podcast. He should be back. I think he's in
He's
was he
in
in Vermont?
Vermont. He's on
Okay.
vacation. What is that?
Yeah,
But
seriously. I was
yeah.
like, what does that
Yeah,
even
what is
mean?
that? No.
And our guest next week is Steven Stearman, an old not colleague but acquaintance. So his app now, his AI company now, is like from my understanding, like a charting solution for psychologists. So that is
Hmm.
when he previously had a marijuana card company, and that is the project that Connor and I met on. He was doing like the data analytics. It's so boring to talk about, by the way, data analytics for websites.
Ah,
And then my company did the SEO.
okay.
So Connor like objectively saw the data, and then he would see the SEO just like go up and up and up. And he's like,
Hmm.
"Who's this? This guy is crazy. Who's this person that answers the emails at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday?" And that's
That's
basically how
funny.
Connor and I asked Connor, I was like, what's more weird? Like what's weird? Like sending an email at 2 a.m. or getting a response at 2:10 a.m. Like what's more
Both.
insane? Yeah, I guess both.
That's
So
the answer. Both.
and we'll also do the AI, get like industry insights. Maybe some, with your background, Mallory, your time at Bolt.new, like, I mean, I think you'll have like valuable insight there. And
Yeah, I would love to find ways, like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna launch a Substack where I kind of do some community marketing
yeah,
deep dives, but would love to kind of do a lot of that on the podcast as well. So if anyone has any requests as well, you should definitely reach out. Let me know so I can do a whole segment here on the pod.
bam. Do you know when that Substack will go live? Because that's a heavy lift, right?
I'm hoping it's going to go live this week. So
Oh,
by next week, I'm hoping I can, actually be like,
you
you
can
can go check it out and
use it,
read the
yeah.
first. Yeah. So I'm drafting up some articles and working on it. But yeah, I'm excited. I actually love Substack too as a platform. So subscribe to a lot of different writers on there, and I wouldn't consider myself to be a writer, but I just have this wealth of knowledge. So and also now that I've been post Bolt, wouldn't call myself a writer, but it's been nice to kind of like get in the rhythm of writing and working on that skill set myself. So yeah, excited to share it.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. We got that and more in the next episode. See you then. Peace.
Bye.